Thanks, Meg. That was fantastic. It's really important to hear from the community sector. I'd now like to introduce our final speaker, Essie Davis. Essie's just fresh back from London, where she's been filming Electric Dreams with Bryan Cranston. Essie is a multi-award-winning actress who was born in Tasmania, and she grew up on the Eastern Shore, on the banks of the River Derwent at Bellerive. Essie is best known for her unforgettable leading role of Amelia in Babadook, highlighted by Time magazine as an Academy Awards contender in the top 10 performance of 2014. For television, Essie is best known for her internationally loved and hugely popular role of Frin Fisher in Phryne Fisher in ABC's Miss Fisher's Murder Mysteries. Essie has appeared in numerous films and television around the world, from Play School to Game of Thrones, from Australia to Charlotte's Web. Essie is also an established stage actress and has gained critical acclaim and awards in all mediums, both in Australia and around the world. Essie is advocating for retaining the beauty and the charm and the individuality of Hobart. Essie will also officially launch PMAT and our platform. Thanks, Essie.
Well, she's a pretty good chicken. You don't have to watch television to know what's going on in the world. Thank you, Sophie. Thank you, Jared. Thank you, Meg. You both spoke so amazingly about this amazing place we live, and in fact, I feel like what I have to say is not enough after what Meg has said about our social responsibility. But I love Tasmania. I was born and raised here, and I've had the privilege to explore many parts of it with my parents and my family and my friends. It is beautiful. It's wilderness, it's pristine beaches, rolling hills, mountains, rivers, peninsulas, coastlines, farms, suburbs, galleries, heritage buildings and gardens. We are so blessed. It is a unique and amazing state, and Hobart is a little jewel. I have, as an actress, had the privilege of living and working in most cities of Australia, and I have lived and worked and travelled through many cities and towns around the world. Some large, some small, some high-rise, some historical cities where they've built new medium-rise buildings that complement and enhance their already iconic heritage surroundings, and some that have lost their identity and become copycat cities with insensitive architecture, drowning what may have once been a pretty location. You wouldn't believe how many homes I have had and how many hotels I have stayed in. I know a lot of places, and in fact, this place is rare. Tasmania has always been my home. It's my always home, even when I'm away. Every time I come home, I fly back here. My breath is taken away by what spectacular beauty we have here. The more I am away, the more I am surprised by what I have grown up with and how truly special it is. Even driving around the hills of Bellerive, it takes my breath away every day. Crossing the Derwent, approaching the bridge, looking at that ever-changing Mount Wellington, the Derwent we have, what we have here in Hobart and are surrounded by. I have always boasted to my friends and colleagues around the world that Hobart is a place where everybody gets a view of the mountains or the river or the sea, and even if that is not true of the home you live in or the place you work, it is true of riding and walking or driving around here, even on the briefest journey to school or the shops or work. We are so lucky. It is one of the most beautiful, breathtaking, rich and warm, aesthetically pleasing cities in the world. I've seen a lot. And sadly, there have been some very ugly additions during my lifetime and before I was born too. Which is why planning and community involvement is vital now for the future. My immediate family and I are currently living in Hobart, and many friends and colleagues from around the world have been visiting us lately to work on upcoming films with my husband, Justin Kurzel, a film director, and myself. All of them comment on Hobart's charm, great beauty, surprising grandeur, pleasing historical aesthetic qualities. More and more filmmakers want to come here and film because of our unique historical heritage buildings and our visually spectacular landscape. We've had projects like the Kettering Incident, my friend Jennifer Kent's feature film, The Nightingale, recently filmed here, and they could only have done that because of our heritage buildings. With Dark Mofo and Mona and all of the wonderful food and cultural festivals of Tasmania now, and always, you know, the Sydney to Hobart, the Melbourne to Hobart, we've had a lot of interest in this place, but right now we are in a unique situation. There is a resurgence of interest in this place. People come here because it is different. People return here because it is different. If our city and our state is to really flourish as it is starting to, we need to absolutely protect and preserve what is unique about it, so that all who come to Tasmania for a different experience, and all who live here for a different experience, to taste something different, to see something different, to experience something different, they're leaving inspired and telling everyone to come, as opposed to leaving and saying, oh, well, it reminded me of Adelaide. It's a bit like Toronto or Brisbane or lots of small, ordinary places I have lived in my life, as well as amazing ones. Difference and preservation of what is unique is going to become our greatest asset, especially for tourism, but also, more importantly, for those who live here. It is time to fight for our own input into the future of this city and this state. Its history, what has happened here, to the Aboriginal people, to the convicts who were sent here, the landscape, the buildings and architecture should reflect our uniqueness, our voice, our pride. New buildings should be complementary to our landscape and heritage. They should be beautiful. They should be timeless. Like,
Essie, can you save Kangaroo Bay?
I'm going to. You know, the outstanding Baha'i Centre for Learning. It's a pleasure to look at. And it feels both contemporary, and also as if it's always been here. We do have outstanding architects who know how to use this landscape and how to represent us. We, as a state, should be at the front line of environmentally 5-star rated buildings. We should be holding the bar high and demanding the best architects. We should be demanding the greenest and cleverest public transport system. We must retain every person's view of the mountain and the river and of Hobart City, and not block them out for a privileged few at the expense of our winter sun and our leafy green open spaces. The Fragrance Group has just opened their Macquarie Street Hotel. Is it a thing of beauty? Is that 2.5 metre square wall of plants the full extent of their vertical garden? Is this the best that we can do? We should be demanding better. These are the people that are planning the horrific skyscrapers for Hobart's waterfront. Do we need these? Do we want them? They've also just purchased the university's Conservatorium of Music and the other buildings, home of my father George Davis's prize-winning mural that he created for the ABC. This is a heritage-listed artwork, but the government's new planning legislation is removing properties from heritage listings and allowing big developers to make their own rules. What will happen to this work of art? What will happen to our heritage buildings? What will happen to our parks and our public artworks? Please do not let this city become a tasteless mishmash of the cities who got it wrong. Let us embrace our difference. Let's hold out for the best of the best. Let's respect and enhance our environment in a careful and considered way. What we have here is special. It is so special. It's why tourists love it. It's why we love it. And it's vital now to retain the natural beauty of our incredible state of Tasmania and the rare jewel of Hobart within it. I love this place, and I think you do too. Careful, considered, and sensitive planning really matters. And so do our voices. I would like now to officially launch the Planning Matters Alliance of Tasmania. It's the voice of 46 groups around Tasmania. It is your voice, and you should all join it and use it. And to launch their platform document, which they will be taking to the state election. But the success of this campaign will depend on donations, and buckets will be coming around if you would like to make a contribution. There is also a donation table if you are able to give more generously. It's over there. People are ready and willing to take whatever you can give, because this is for the people and by the people, and we are the people. You're the people. You've got to pay to make it happen. And I'm now going to hand you back to the wonderful Sophie Underwood, who has organised all of this and is the voice for all of us. Thank you all so much for listening.
Thanks so much, Essie. It's fantastic to have someone of your profile as part of this campaign. I would also like to thank Brooke Street Larder and Brooke Street Pier. They've been great people to work with for hosting us all here tonight. We've chosen this venue because it's a look to the future. It says something about the Tasmania we want to be, and sets a great example of how development and investment can happen that complements our heritage. The success of this campaign will depend on whether the people who care about planning get active, and whether our politicians listen to the wishes of the community.